How can I help you?
So I'm calling in about gaslighting and sexual addiction and the propensity for a marriage to continue.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay. What's
I've
your
been
question about that?
married, so we've been married a little over 15 years, and I've gone to like 4 different counselors, and none of them like even said he was abusive, like verbally. And then listening
Wait
to
a minute.
your stuff on gaslighting.
Stop. I need to get my facts right. So, the you've
Okay,
gone to four, or the two of you've gone together 4 times? Which of those is it first?
so two of them were together, and two of them were without,
Just you.
like just me.
Okay. And you said the counselors did not think that he was verbally abusive?
Right. So one of them was more like a coach, and so there's sexual addiction in there, and the whole time he lied to that person. Then I went to one together, and he lied to
So
that person as well, saying that
he says that he has a problem with sexual addiction. Is this with people, or is it with
no,
pornography?
it's online. Yeah, it's
Online?
pornography, and
Okay.
and so he basically lied to that counselor saying that he wasn't dealing with it. So finally, this past February, he finally admitted
Say
that it
that.
was
I'm having
an
a hard time
addiction.
hearing you. He liked that counselor, you said?
No, he lied. Lied. Lied.
Lied to the counselor and told the counselor that he doesn't have the problem, or that
They,
he was dealing with it.
yeah, that he didn't have the problem, and everything was my fault. Like, I have
Oh, I see.
depression and
Okay.
anxiety,
Okay.
and so he was telling him, that I was the issue pretty much the whole 8 months we went.
Oh.
So then after
And
reading
did the
your
counselor
information,
did the counselor ever try to work with that blame dynamic?
no, it came down to I was being oversensitive. That I took things too seriously. He thought
By
it
the
was just that we
counselor.
didn't communicate well by
By
the
the
counselor.
counselor. Okay. But you have real knowledge and evidence that your husband is has an online addiction.
Yeah, so he finally joined like Sex Anonymous or something, and
Awesome. So he says he has a problem.
it
That's
is
good.
right. But so this has been going on for years, where he said like I have control, but then I would find out something. But the big thing is, after reading your information, I realized he's been gaslighting me from the very beginning.
Huh. In other words, kind of
And
talking you out of your reality.
yeah, just I know he was controlling, but then after reading like all your information, he has a number of the signs of a gaslighter.
Okay. So
And
what is your
so,
question? Tell me how I can help. It's kind of like I'm kind of discouraged about I mean, if you can literally be in a counselor's office for 8 months, and he's in 100% of the work, it's his blaming you, and that blame dynamic is not addressed, that would cause me really to say I might want to get a second opinion, right? That's
yeah, and that's why I'm
unusual.
saying
It's
after,
unusual for a counselor to, for 8 months, not be dealing with your issues and your issues that are contributing to y'all's issue, right? It should be working with both of you how you have to change. And if it was all got blamed on you, I don't understand that.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's very, like, the manipulation is really, like,
A good
I mean, I
counselor,
think he's so
a good
good at
counselor,
lying that,
yeah, but a good counselor, a good counselor, especially one that's used to working with sex addicts, that's not going to fly with them. In other words, I think you might want to get a second another marriage counselor with somebody who really works with sex addicts. because they will see right through that. If that's the case, if that's what's
So I
happening.
guess my real question is, I feel like I'm just worn down and I'm tired and I'm just like, I don't know if I can continue. And so I'm like, when do I, like, what is the likelihood that he's going to quit gaslighting? Like, I mean, is he a narcissist, or like, am I spinning my wheels? Because I feel pretty miserable in the relationships. Like, I feel like some days I'm going to just, like, I don't know. It's hard.
It's a lot of pain for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of pain for a long time. Let's put him aside for a second. Let's put him aside. I'll answer that question, but let's put him aside for a second. And let's talk about you. Where do you have that's helping you with the pain that you're going through, the effects of this, the wear and tear on your psyche and your soul? Where do you have that's getting healed and that's getting taken care of?
So I went to a Christian counselor again by myself, but she said she wasn't a marriage counselor, so she acknowledged that we had an unhealthy relationship, but she just kept saying I probably needed to go to a marriage counselor, and then, COVID hit. But I do have a group of like 3 or 4 ladies that are praying for me pretty diligently.
Oh, good. Do you talk to them a lot?
I talked to one of them, and then she kind of has the other ladies pray for me on specific areas. But yeah, it feels pretty lonely right now.
That's what I'm worried about for several reasons. Also in relation to what do you do with your husband? What I think the first thing that needs to happen is, and I use this analogy a lot because it is a very good one. The airplane decompression happens, the base mass drop, meaning there's oxygen available, but put it on yourself first before trying to help or see or deal with somebody else. Okay. In your pain, in your voice, in what you've told me, I think you need some more oxygen. And I want you to talk to your prayer ladies, right? And just say, you know what, I might need a little more support than I'm getting. And can you guys help me with that? And if they can't, then, kind of enlarge that circle. That's A. So you're not lonely. We can be dealing with somebody that's difficult and we're dealing with somebody difficult, but I don't want loneliness added to the equation. Okay. So I really, really want to make that paramount. Secondly, I would encourage you can do telecounseling now. I think you need somebody to help you, and somebody really that has experiences in dealing with sex addicts to help you figure out what what kind of boundaries can you have where if he's not dealing with his problems, it's not spilling over into your soul. And somebody really good could help you to kind of start to draw those lines. Thirdly, with somebody really good in that knows this arena, doesn't get gaslighted themselves, can help you to figure out what stance to take with him. Because what you at some point, what you might have to do, and it doesn't sound like this can be done apart from a good counselor together, is at some point the conversation has to be had where you say, look, I'm really not here. I'm not here to argue about this. I'm here to state some facts. Okay. I am really, really hurting in the way things are right now. I don't want to argue about that. That's just my truth. That's just true. I need for you to talk with me and this lady sitting in that chair over there, or this man, this counselor. I need a way to be in this relationship It may not even mean in the house. I don't know. I need a way to be in this relationship that stops the pain. And I'm willing to walk the path of these things changing. I'm willing to work on it, but I'm at the end of I've got to stop the pain of what's happening to me. So we have to find out a way to do that.
Okay.
And that's what a really good counselor could help y'all kind of figure out. There's a number of different ways you can structure a relationship with somebody in denial where it doesn't hurt you and they're still getting well. And I would also, I was talking to my friends over at New Life the other day, and call 1-800 New Life. They do a lot of work in sexual addiction. Have a lot of couples, retreats in this, and they might be able to help you. So I would want you getting safe first, and then addressing the relationship, but addressing it with somebody that actually understands the dynamics of how this works. Now, and I'll answer this and then I have to go to some other callers. Getting back to the question of how long or whatever, or whether he's a narcissist, I I don't know because I don't know him, but I do know this, that um, I have run across a lot of people that look the same in terms of the degree of narcissism, the degree of sociopathy, the degree of gaslighting, the degree of blame, the degree of externalization. I've dealt with a lot of them that look the same. And this group hits the light and changes, and this group of them don't, and they look the same. And so these people out there, and I want to pound my fist when I hear people say a narcissist can't change or a borderline can't change, because it's not true. It is true that some of them often don't, but it's also true that some of them do. But it's also true, and here's the third piece, that rarely do they change until we can take the right stance in relation to them with the right boundaries and the right strategies that really can kind of force the pain of not changing onto their side of the fence instead of the people that they're inflicting it upon. That's why I want you to get in a place where it's not hurting you anymore, and you can have some boundaries that he gets to say, okay, I'm going to come to the party or not. Does that help?
It does very much. Thank you so much.
Okay. God bless you. And if you go on Facebook, I bet you're going to see some people that will support you in this. And I want you to find a counselor, find a network. I would also, what I'd probably do? I'd go to a good, whatever the equivalent of an Al-Anon meeting is for sex addicts. Call SA, or call a church that's got an overcomers outreach, or celebrate recovery or something like that, and get in a spouses group. I know that New Life has some stuff like that as well. Okay. Thank you for your
All
call,
right. Thank you so
and
much.
I hope that turns out in a good place.